he struggled a bit on that Phoenix. He even went back to his Reyna.
Yeah, he had his good games and his bad games. I remember over on Ascent, he got 32 kills at one point. But again, we looked back at that game and said, well, how many of those could we put down to it being Phoenix and how many down to it being Hip? And the vast majority were the latter of those two. We're going to be going on to Haven, and it is a difficult one to really predict when you look at Vodafone Giants because they play pretty much the same composition. The only variance we saw was on Bind. They did pull out the Brimstone. It did not go well. And so they've, and we haven't seen them on Bind since, so I don't know if that decision will be kept.
Well, this is actually BBL's pick when it comes to it. Now, Phoenix, though, right? I'm not against it, Russ. I'm sure there's a reason for it. I know Mitch is really not a fan of it. But is a map like, okay, he can be used on any map, yes, obviously, but is Haven really the part you want to see him being used? Like, if anything, you go for the Reyna. Look what Scream, look what Hip were doing on it yesterday.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing, within Europe anyways, there being any sort of a preference for Phoenix when he is taken out on this map. This would be a very, very big rarity. I do wonder if, again, there's some influence by the fact that they're not able to make it through anymore. Like, they don't have to take this game 1,000,000% serious. Like, at the same time, they definitely, this is valuable practice. I think that's probably where they're coming at it from. If I had to guess, they're saying, well, let's see if it's viable. Let's see how it works out without playing with a Sage. They are starting attacking side as well. And, you know, see where it goes from there. I did say, though, that I feel like if you're defending side, a lot of the time when it comes down to the res, you'll want the Sage, obviously for slowing down as well. So not having a Sage in the attack, it's not as much of a disadvantage, although it can definitely help in post plans.
Well, let's see how it's going to go to start off with just a 1-for-1 trade at long. Nice and fast here from Yuri. Throws out the slow, doesn't want to be rushed. Good timing on the slow. The Omen's Shadow Orb, though. Oh! That's less than ideal for Yuri. He tries to escape, but he's put down to 25 health. BBL, though, they're being smart. They're not overextending. The rotations come in. But it's not been an over-rotation here, Mitch. And that's the main thing, is that actually this still could be a way for them to get in. Don Q wants to put his orb forward. Wants to make sure that he can... Oh, that's not ideal. Just at the wrong timing. He gets poked, he loses head. Yuri's low on health as well, and his spot's going to be known. Why are they not taking it down? CNED, he comes in, but Yuri was still able to get one. So maybe a little bit too far forward than what they needed to be here. Jomba did it again, though. Oh, those shock darts. We said he's known for it, and this is exactly what he's able to do. He knows where the spike default plant is, and he'll just throw him up and try and knock him down. Very aggressive positions here from BBL, that they're taking fights which almost a bit unnecessary. The Omen's super low, but you know it's Aslan. It's a 1v1 now. A headshot would help him seal this. Exers expects to be pushed a little bit. Aslan's taking such a forward position here. Oh, the timing's not going to work out. Exers gets it. Giant onto the pistol round. I got to say that for Aslan, though. You knew where the spike was down. There wasn't any real need to show. I guess he's like, I'm on low health. I'm just going to go for the one-bullet headshot or something like that. But, like, you had no idea which side he was going to come from. You were lacking on information. I would have just slowed it down a bit, and because he's the Omen, he might have even had one of his orbs come back out.
You know, when you look at the rating for players in this tournament, I guess it's not surprising considering they are the bottom two teams. So obviously you've had the rougher games, you've had the majority of the losses. It's Kiro, Lego, Xers, and Donkey from bottom to top in the worst rated going upwards. But then it's so funny then when you look at over towards the top of the bracket, 9th place, Fatino, then Mixwell, then Jonba. Down in 11. That those guys are doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And for Jonba, it's not surprising when you've got those darts. I feel like when you're coming up against them, all you got to do is look at that tweet from Hip when he responded to us and said whenever he was playing up against Jonba, all he heard in TeamSpeak was, "Watch out, electric, electric!" Yep.
Well, this is a very fast push. Oh, no.
The right clicks really didn't work out for him there. My God.
I thought that was a guaranteed kill. Aslan's going to be trying to put in some work. Exer's there on the cleanup duty, though. No problem at all. Still a spike plant. They did manage to force their way into the B site, but overall, it was dealt with only 2 casualties in that one.
Yeah, 2 casualties, but you also saw some players come in with pistols, right? Like Donk was going in there with just the ghost at the start of the round, so it's acceptable that you lose some players when you make those lower buys. And they were lucky not to lose another one with the up-close play.
I'm all down, by the way, for seeing Aslan have one of those games again. We said it. Some games, he's been popping off. Other games, slowing down a bit. For me, if we can get Aslan going alongside CNED, then that's the real difference maker. But with CNED, often at times for this guy, he's an incredible jet. But he needs the early, like, push. He needs that, like, good couple of rounds for him to feel some confidence. Well, confidence is going to come up from Russ this time. He heals himself up. Lego's doming as well. This is a really good start for BBL. They've got weapons in their hands, and they've got the master plan. But is this master plan going to see him take a round? Aslan's still holding the back lines here. They're waiting for some pushes to come through. And I respect this from BBL. They're not getting too far up into it. They're not getting ahead of themselves, Mitch.
No, they're not. They're taking their time, trying to pick Vodafone Giants apart even further. Donkey does manage to return a frag at least, stopping any sort of a push through the spawn or towards the C site, as the garage control is now conceded by BBL, and they look to just blitz out on the A site. And they're quite lucky, because with the way that Vodafone Giants have rotated, they've actually left A completely open. They've got bottom mid control, and now all the way down C, realizing that this is going to be an A hit. They're rotating, but BBL are going to be here on time.
Now they've got to make sure they hold on to this control. They're going to look for that opportunity to get the spike down. And I like this. They're changing up the position. They do not want Jonba throwing those darts out at them and making sure that they can... Oh, Donkey. This is perfect. Oh, the trigger discipline. Donkey is playing this so smart, but there we go. Timing, that could have gone horribly wrong, but he stands strong. His position's known now. Going to go in for the second, but he can't quite hit the shots. Exers now, his position's been revealed, and he's just tanking it for the moment. He doesn't seem to give a damn.
Just taking the fight.
He's still taking the fight. He's like, yeah, push me. I'm going to take you down. Don't worry.
No,
oh, the ult's in play. And this could be huge, though. Starts to push around. Exers, he's looking for the kill. He knows he's just got to go straight in with a fight. His location continues to be revealed. Why is he throwing out that as well?
Lego, it was such a smart play for him because he's just delaying so much time. Like, even when that arrow goes out, gives him a little info, whether it spots him or whether it gets shot.
Okay.
And for Exers, look, he gets to save a weapon, but the round is won by BBL. They've done the groundwork and obviously dodged a lot of the damage because obviously they took Jonba down early on.
Yeah.
So when they go into the A site, they're like, oh, we can finally plant. We don't have to
But they
stare
still
at the
made
sky.
sure.
Yeah, they still swapped it up.
Sure.
What if he comes back?
Now, interestingly enough there, BBL got the opening 2 kills, right? Then they slowed things down, but they still got into a 1v1, which is a scary sign for these guys.
Hey, you definitely don't want to be giving those opportunities away, and it's something for BBL that they've definitely struggled with whenever they've come up against. You look at that NIP game, even in the rounds where they managed to get in and get some early duels, they were still just picked apart later on. Post plans never really going their way.
Take flight.
Or not the post plans, it was the defensive side they played, but whenever they came in for retakes, they were just giving away constant advantages.
I'm really liking this play, though. Threw the drone out. Aslan just pushed off the back of it. Oh, Yuri, he didn't know who to shoot at first there. They both popped out at the same time. Jonba, going to look to get these lineups in. Shock darts delivered. Doesn't manage to take down the spike carrier. It's not like he did too much damage either, if my eyesight's correct. BBL now in the site. They've got control. Russ being in window is such a problem for him as well. Do they just back away at this point already?
Here.
Yeah, they're
Possibly,
hoping that a
yeah.
push comes in. They're staying very defensive, so I think they might just not go for this.
Yeah, I think it's the right call. If you're given an advantage, if BBL do overextend, as we were saying, they've been known to do over on the defensive side, that you could just use that to spur yourself onwards. But if they don't, if they tuck in, you're expecting you're going to run into crossfires. Trying to retake garage control alone is very dangerous. And so they're going to just back away and responsibly save the weapons in a 4v5. You're also avoiding giving over ultimate charges, and considering a lot of BBL are now approaching them, we had that Hunter's Fury come out very early on, but obviously that was on the back of a lot of kills. So the reality is now you need to be that little bit more cautious, because if you go in, you lose that, you'll lose your weapons, plus you'll give them the ult charges that actually bring them over the brink in this round.
Brilliant execute from BBL, though. Managed to get themselves in nicely. They confused poor Yuri, sat at the back of the site. He's like, oh, I see C-Neb, but he's not looking at me. Then the other player came up and he's like, oh no, which one?
Still got a Spectre in play coming into this round. Only the one for the defense over on Vodafone Giants. Hexers, will they spot him? Do they check the left? The cage goes through, so just to allow him to retreat. He avoids a lot of the damage coming up. Even tags up Phoenix a little bit. Russ taking a lick of damage, but Aslan's good to take that frag, having TP'd up into heaven, and they just leave him completely unchecked. An easy double. Jonba blinded, but a little bit too late, and that was a very risky peek.
He had control. There was no need to go push into that. I'm guessing he was hoping they wouldn't know he's there, but the information was already had by his teammate. Oh, this is nice. Donkey going to get himself into the site. Starts with a spray, misses a few shots, but will still land the kill. Straight on top of the defuse. And Giants, they bounce back into it. 2 alive. But now they've got 3 players up with their ultimates, Mitch, and that's where it gets very concerning for BBL. You know when you see those ults up, right, it's always in the back of your mind. Even if they're not going to use it so early on, it's like, you need to be a bit cautious of this now.
Well, exactly. It definitely changes how you approach it. I think more so is like when you get a raise, that showstoppers online, you need to be very careful about, you can't just rush a site anymore, because what if they just come barreling around the corner. But I think equally so, especially when a jet is through. I can't remember who it was that tweeted out, but they said jet ult is for noobs.
Oh, did you see the thing I retweeted yesterday of Scream?
No, I don't think so.
So Scream got killed by the jet ult.
Oh, it was him. Yeah,
that's why he was so unhappy with it. But the Hunter's Fury.
Very early on.
Yeah, he just went straight for it. Expect him to be in position.
So obviously, in terms of the damage zone, if you did damage anyone with that, great, because they can't heal. They haven't got a Sage. But also, it would give you the info, right? And he was hoping that he could tag a couple of them. I would much rather that wait a couple, especially if you're putting it down C long, because if you wait in like 10, 20 seconds, those players are then, look at where they are right now.
Yeah.
They're grouped up. That's a straight, there's no escape at that point.
Well, they got the little cubby hole, but that's about it, right? They're very limited on how they fall back through it. Fatino. He's in garage. He's hoping someone might come his way. Yuri again pushed out. The drone spotted him. The information now is going to be with the BBL side, but is it going to be enough? Oh, the shock darts go out. Oh, it's so unlucky for Yuri. He was trying to spray him down, but he couldn't make it connect. There was too much going on around him, a lot of pressure as well, and Giants might just decide to save this straight away. And we've got to make a big point about this. This is Giants' chance for 4th place. They need to get a 2-0, and they need Nip also not to take a win against FPX. There is a way that Giants here can make it to playoffs.
Yes, and that's guaranteed extra money as well, which is always very important to you, but making it through to the playoffs is #1 priority. Considering the position right now, BBL are actually showing a much, much better form in these early stages. Considering they went down, obviously their buy rounds have looked about as solid as you could hope for.
Yeah, they're certainly holding their own against Giants. But I also think there's a bit of mentality with these teams where, you were going up against the big boys in the rest of the game. It's like they'll look at this as a bit more, okay, this is more towards our level. This is more what we consider ourselves to be able to take down.
Oh, yeah. Like, if you're tying against FPX and G2, I don't think you're going to come into this one and go, oh, no, we're against BBL. But maybe that could be a problem, because it's not like BBL are incapable. As we said, some things we want to see from them, we've seen CNED consistently, but Aslan, when he gets popping, when he's got those good games, he is very dangerous. And currently, you can see he's having one of those good games.
And that's the thing, right? It's only so much you can do when Aslan actually has one of these games. It has been inconsistent. It has been very up and down. On day one, he really just thought... He wanted to make us think that he was, like, really hot. And then it slowed down a bit, and we were like, okay, maybe not so much. But if he can do it here and now against Giants, it could be the difference maker with this. Exers, though, he's grabbed himself a hell of a lot of space here. The jet smokes are down. Oh, he did manage to spot one, and he lands it. Beautifully done, Exers. And he can sneak behind them all. This is hugely problematic for him if they don't check it. Rush pushes in off the back of the ult. Donkey deals with that so easy. Exos has found himself 2 kills on the flank. Easy for him to pick him apart. Kira will eventually shut him down, but this might be too much of a problem. The Cypher ult is used at the right time. Aslan can play off of that. He's got the information, but they've already started to slip away. Oh, and he gets taken down by Fatino the moment he pokes out. Jomba on the side. He will still lose his head here. 1 versus 2 certainly doable, but where does Kiro decide to go? The revives come in, and this is where Giants are 100. Oh dear, that's not what you want to see, Kiro. That's unlucky. But this is where Giants are fully respecting the fact that Kiro could 2 versus 1 this. The spike's going to go down, and instantly he does as well. He walked straight into it. He wanted to get a bit more of a forward position, but it doesn't take him that long to rotate over.
I'll say it in any game. I'm guessing it was just due to coming off the spike. It threw him off a little bit. Shift walking with your knife out, it's never worth it. Like, the amount of time you save, yeah. Well, even if you're going from like C site to B, I would caution it, because you have so many corners to clear, and the amount of time that you're going to save versus the risk of someone being on that corner and you 100% dying, then it doesn't really pay off in my head. The risk reward is not worth it. But what was more confusing to me in that round was over towards the A site when the push came in. DonQ kills the ult. Obviously, he wants to reposition using the TP, but the position he chose to, I think that was a little bit of panic setting in because he went out in the open, obviously, but then was exposed to every angle. I think he probably wanted to go a little bit more around that corner. Those little split-second decisions can cause a lot of bother. CNED's got his ult popped up. He's going to look to dash some knives right into his opponent's faces.
Now, if you're Giants, you're going to be very scared of this. You may have a Jet on your side, but you're dealing with CNED with those knives. First few shots taken out there by Xers. Oh, look how far CNED's got into this, but he instantly goes down. DonQ's able to find the kill. They're trying to play off it together. They're trying to work in as they fight it out. And it's DonQ just popping heads left, right, and center here. Aslan finally shuts him down, but it's not going to be enough. 3 still alive for Giants. And now they gain themselves a 2-round lead. Slowly but surely, they're able to deal with BBL. And that is just CNED not getting anything done with that Jet ult.
So CNED has just been absolutely done by RNG there. DonQ just spammed through the smoke, killed him, then walked through, TP'd up above, and they had no idea because there was so much chaos.
Yeah.
There were cages, smokes, shots everywhere. So they're so focused on getting that spike planted, they don't look behind them. They don't pay attention to the sound cue of the TP. He was in the corner, easy double spray down before eventually the Sheriff dealt with him, and that's such a good start. Where is this one going? Can we just watch Jonba at the start of every round? I just love how much time he spent and how much dedication he's got put into these shock darts. There's great damage and an assist for DonQ off the bat.
Really nice use of those shock darts there. Jonba with the lineups, but is it going to be enough? So much action early on here in the round. CNED's found himself into C, but his teammates aren't there. DonQ's just waiting for it, and he's doming heads for now. That's the spike taken down. Oh, no, it's the Cypher that's a spike. It's not a problem. But still, Kiro is now all alone. Maybe he can shoot one in the back. At best, he might be able to get the spike down.
I just love those shock dart lineups. We'll come back to that in a second, though. There's an aggressive stance coming through, but Fatino was ready to go. The knives out, just drives them into the spike, gives them a few presents for after. 6-3. Vodafone Giants definitely coming back into this. And just to underline that for Jonba, the fact that he just consistently has these, like, you look at that fight for DonQ.
Yeah.
Yes, he had a teammate peeking, and probably it would have worked out anyways. But if you're that player that's in Garage, the shock dart comes down, tags them up 50, and you're able to just easily, you know, you've got a double the HP almost advantage coming up against them then, depending on where they're standing. That's absolutely huge. And if you're BBL, how do you take map control when every so often, every round, you're thinking, is there something above me? Am I going to get shocked right now?
you
You're
just
never
start
safe.
Fearing it, yeah.
It's like Jonba's B, shock darts are C. They're everywhere.
DonQ is having a sick game so far. He watches the Jet push forward. Oh, onto Aslan as well. He's not budging. That's going to end him, though. CNED delivering the headshots with that Sheriff. This could actually make this viable for him. They've got weapons behind it. CNED, how are you doing all this? Finally goes down at the hands of Fatino. But has he done enough at this point? Slow's going out from Yuri. His position's going to be revealed, but it was pretty obvious. The ult's being used. It's nearly connecting, but he's jumping as best he can. Fatino tries to avoid it as well. They were so scared of what was happening. The heal put onto Fatino. He's on 100 health, but his position is now spotted out. Ross got one, but Lego with the finish off. It's a refrag straight into a round, and that's how you get it done. But CNED deserves so much praise there with the Sheriff.
Yeah, he was hitting heads left, right, and center. And you got to say, big disadvantage for Jonba was the fact that he had come in with the Odin, so he couldn't really get a lot done then when it came down to going in for the retake. He'd played in Garage, hoping to spam through the doors and do extra damage alongside his shock dart, but they just went over towards the A side, and obviously retaking with an Odin is not really, well, not usually ideal. You also had the TP out of Aslan, which ended up obviously not netting them a whole lot, but it at least distracted the crosshair of DonQ and allowed for that trade from CNED afterwards.
Whatever DonQ had for breakfast this morning should be the breakfast of champions that he uses every day before game day.
It's clearly worked for him, right? It's got the energy high.
I know Russ is just playing the Phoenix, but I'm not sold on it right now. Another Hunter's Fury goes out. Ult after ult. Oh, this is... Oh no.
He can't
Oh
just
no,
let him.
oh no, be careful, Yuri. Yuri is the most unlucky person going. He's been at the back of sight twice now and got screwed over like that with multiple targets. This one, he had perfect trigger patience. He's like, nope, won't kill it. And then he just disappears in the orb of smoke. Come on.
Yeah. That's a good return by CNET onto DonQ. At least still an opportunity for them. But it's a 1v3, a difficult one to win. He has the ultimate, but you probably don't want to commit that much into a round like this.
If he gets the next kill, because you've got 40 seconds left, then yeah, you pop the ult, you see what you can do. But it's all about finding this one. And well, look at how far the Cypher has pushed up. He's up in
they
window.
know he's there. They've tagged it. You see those tags coming down? Xers is calling it that he thinks he's around spawn. Must have heard some of the steps. The rotate around is 1C, 1A, but it doesn't matter. Well done by Xers. Closing that one out, 7 rounds on the board for Vodafone Giants. And obviously having the ult up now for CNET is pretty important because he doesn't even have to buy a weapon.
No.
Obviously getting the Sheriff out, he could drop a weapon to his teammates. It depends where it's stacked at.
Yuri, you are so unlucky, my friend. Gets one, tries to spam up the next one, can't quite make it work. Aslan does take him down, but at least they had the information off the back of it. It's one of those ones where you're just looking at it and you think like he should have had both, but he could have potentially waited for longer there and actually seen another person pushed up.
I don't like this. So CNET has decided to take a Marshall alongside his ultimate. But that works out with the early fight. The problem is like 2 of his teammates have got Sheriffs, and I'd rather you just give them a Marshall, give them whatever the hell they want.
And he took down the Sage with the ult though, so there's going to be no revive possibility in. We've got Phoenix's ult up, Jet's ult, and Cypher. They need a dead body for the Cypher, and that first kill found was so far away that it's going to be very difficult to handle.
Yeah, you'll probably save that for when you actually go into a site just to make sure it's clear and see where they are on the retake.
Where's Russ? Oh, he pushed into B solo. Instantly taken out, though. It's an easy shot for Fatino to hit. I feel like when you Phoenix ult, yeah, you need to do it when you're going with your teammates sometimes because you're just one tap away from just being taken out, right? It's more of just a attempt at a distraction then. But look, CNET again, those knives in play. Is this going to be enough? Fatino's already rotated round. Bodies are hitting the floor, and at the moment, Giants, they have the control here. Can they pick up the round? 2 dead on either side. Russ is trying to flank, but he needs a little bit more time here, Mitch. This is not ideal for him. He's worried about making noise as well. His teammates are falling around him. Legos managed to run over to see this huge... Oh! The Omen cancelled it.
Yeah, so he saw him, he realized he was going to be taken down, but Russ completely catches Fatino off guard, takes down the ultimate player, and now they're in with a chance to actually close this out. Already, you've got low HP on Jamba. As they come in for this, DonQ is going to be the one that has to get it done. He's still got his paranoia up, just got a smoke refreshed as well. We're going to see the smoke going out. Jamba takes down Russ, leaving Lego to do it all. He's trapped in the back, and that's going to spot him. He's forced to give it away. Goes through with his own little recon, but how are you going to win this fight? They're peeking together. They're looking to trade, and surely he isolates one, but no, not the second onto DonQ. They do manage to close it 8-4. But that came very close for Vodafone Giants. I love the setup that they had because they had, you'll notice, 3 players towards the A side and 1 playing A side of B. Nobody was on the other half of the map. The logic behind that was the camera was so crucial that it had been left up. Early on, Xers put it down in the very aggressive position so we can see straight down long. Sometimes you'll see more passive so they can't shoot it at the start of the round, and you can play, I mean, we've seen that, right, over towards the close side along on the left side.
When he pushed up, yeah, I remember.
Exactly, right? So the logic there is that you can activate it, deactivate it, activate it, and you won't just get killed by a guy that's way down just peeking it to check. They'll have to push all the way up, and at that point, you know they're committing. But with that cam, you have to dedicate a player towards the spawn kind of side of it. But they could group up on one part of the map so that when BBL eventually pushed in, they ran into a stack of 4 players. That's a massive problem for BBL. You have to take, especially against a Cypher, you have to take the spread out map control and try to deal with that camera, make sure that he hasn't got free info like that, where every 5 seconds he just has to press a button and go, nobody see, and that's it. And all the resources are stacked up to A other than that one cam.
Now, BBL have actually decided to take a timeout just before we go into this, so they were trying to regroup their thoughts because they were showing us that they could fight back at the beginning, and then it just massively slowed down. Giants started to become all over them. So for now, right, they're probably thinking, look, this is our do or die. We don't want to go down with no maps won. First of all, this is our pick. Yes, we know Giants are good, but we can challenge them. We've challenged other teams. We've been able to push them. We need to do something to save ourselves here. But DonQ is having one of those games where it's just too hard to deal with sometimes. Even with Aslan and CNET both going off this time.
He is the 4th lowest rated player in this tournament at the moment, Donkey. And that's the kind of performance he delivers in crunch time. It is a shame that obviously we've waited this long to see it, but at day 1 he was phenomenal.
Yep.
Just really struggled throughout some of those other games. But this is the time you want to be showing up, right? Because as we mentioned, for Vodafone Giants winning this game, it puts them in a great spot to go through to the playoffs. Could knock NIP out.
It makes it very possible, because even when you look at FPX versus NIP as a game, that to me is potential tie. Either team could take it kind of thing. It's so up in the air. I've got some information from when I was talking to Hip, but I'll save that for when we get into that game itself. But yeah, it's right to the wire with this. And how many times have we seen across this tournament NIP get off to one of those slow starts and then claw their way back into a game? That's the thing that's been hindering them, which finds them in this position where they could be potentially not qualifying for playoffs.
And here's the thing, right? Vodafone Giants need to win this one convincingly, because they're currently minus 28 rounds.
Ooh.
So if NIP lose their next game, NIP, if they tie their game and Vodafone Giants win, we could end up on the same points, and then round difference comes into effect. And at the moment, Vodafone Giants wouldn't get it. So they're almost like looking for a 13-0 to make up for that recovery and hoping that NIP just get wrecked.
They need all the rounds, so that means this pistol round is all important. Trying to push their way into the B site. It starts off really good. Headshots delivered. They're just rushing in. They're not slowing down just yet, but they need to be careful of CNED. The frenzy's there as well, and they just got too over-aggressive. Exos has put himself in a good position, but they didn't even try to get the spike down here, Mitch. This is a huge blunder from Giants.
A massive problem. And we mentioned how they need every single round at this point, because they are not safe even winning this series 2-0. And for that to be the thing that opens it up for them in the pistol round, the problem is that's probably a second given over. You probably have to eco afterwards. And with Xers falling, it seems to be quite the likelihood.
I'm wondering if they were just planning to go into the A site all the way around, but they got the opening kills and it was just like so easy for them. Then they just ran straight into Kiro, who was sat there. And then CNED was just in a great... Oh, not Kiro, sorry. They did run into Kiro. It was him. He was playing on A, of the Cypher. And CNED had come through with the frenzy. So, yeah, rough ride for them straight on that pistol round. Maybe this is what BBL needed to kickstart their way back into it. They certainly made the most of that timeout.
We mentioned before the differences as well between Cyphers, how a lot of people still play the beta, like Cypher over towards C.
Yep.
But we're seeing the top teams often preference it on A because he can just solo it so well and delay both angles as they push down.
CNED backing out of there real quick. Oh, be careful for Tino. Kiro's still there as well, but is it going to be enough? Russ has fallen. Kiro on the side trying to make the Bulldog work. He gets swarmed, and that'll be it for now. Can they get the spike down this time around? The Cypher's really low. Jomba trying to make the most of his shock darts. Jumps up with it, but Aslan's on top. And he's not finished just yet, but Xers only good for one. But again, it's only one player alive for BBL. They get into these situations where it's rounds they should be winning. And they don't make it look easy for themselves.
No, they definitely don't. But look, you'll take it. I guess if it's going a round win's a round win. Going up to save the actual weapon, the Vandal. But plenty of time still to get down there and defuse. You know, I was casting a game a long time ago, Banks. It was like a CIS qualifier. And a team, it was on train, I remember, for CSGO. A team went to save an operator. They spent so much time going to get it. Or an op, yeah. God. Yes, this is a good sign. I've completely converted over to Valorant at this point.
You can't cast CS anymore, mate. It's
I can't
game
go back.
over.
There's no going back. I'll be going, oh, look, the T's have the Vandal now. But yeah, they took so long to go over and save an op that they couldn't defuse the bomb anymore. And it was just, it was mad. It's like, because they ran up and I was like, I don't think they have time, but surely they did. They're professional players. They know what's going on. And I was like, no, I really don't think they have time anymore.
Luckily, that Vandal wasn't too far away.
Yeah, it was nice and close.
Fast aggression coming out of here. Vodafone looked to just jump into this C site. Patino again using that frenzy, but it's not going to work out this time. Russ and Aslan, they're in good positions, but is it going to be enough to stop this rush coming in? The spike's down on the floor. Jomba's trying to play it around. Does deliver a headshot, but he won't get the kill. And BBL already up at 8-7. Game is still on here. 3 in a row now for your BBL, but Vodafone are going to have a huge buy, and this one's been no problem for them.
That's where the problem comes in, right? That we always talk about those early rounds and how you can build up for free if you win the pistol, pretty much. And with how Vodafone Giants have invested, it is obviously a position where in those early rounds they lose the pistol, they take a light buy, another light buy. Now it's strong as can be, and they're coming in. Okay, 1 Bulldog in play for Kiro, but look at the amount of money that's going to be stacked up over on that defensive side. They've at least got a buffer if they do lose this one, but they don't want to give Vodafone Giants access back into the half so early on.
Donkey was phenomenal in the first half. He needs to be able to continue that. Because we spoke about how important the round difference is here for Vodafone Giants. Rosto takes down Yuri. Fatino didn't know which side to look at. They almost both poked him at the same time. Not the start they would have wanted. The Sage gone down again, which means no heals for the remaining player on Giants. Oh, this is aggression from all sides here. The ult's going to be popped as well, and Russ delivers the kill with it. Flawless round and done in style. They saw the aggression from Giants, and it was very fast onto that C site. But once that had happened, BBL knew they had control, and they just went for it. They went gunning.
It was a very unfortunate approach by Vodafone Giants and how it panned out. Jamba obviously trying to support with the Hunter's Fury, get a little bit of garage control, and at that point they would have had a great split with Fatino having snuck out onto the C site. He was aware there was a jet towards the back of the site, and he heard steps on his right, presuming that was the jet, swung to try and peek, but at that exact moment, Jet turned left. Came out of the left corner, so they're both peeking him at the same time. It was an easy duel, and obviously with Yuri dying elsewhere on the map, they go down by 2 men. They've already committed an ultimate to that as well. So it was a really, really bad round for them. Now that they come in with just pistols as well afterwards, BBL should be taking the lead.
I'd quite like to see Giants at this point slow it down. They've had fast rounds after fast rounds. Really nice camera. I haven't seen this one before.
Get out of my way.
Lego and Russ, they're getting the job done for now, but is it going to be enough? The spike finally goes down. Patino, though, he's the danger man. We know what he can do, but it's CNED with his ult up. He's making it happen, and these players are loving a bit of teabagging going on back and forth here. Okay, Giants, you did well off the back of that, to be fair, right? You only had pistols. But again, now on this buy round, I'd love to see Giants slow it down. They have gone fast every single round so far, and right now you're playing into something that's working massively here for BBL. I
do love that camera angle up top, because I've been playing a lot of those sort of real-time strategy command your unit type games, and I'm like, it just feels like that's like, okay, Jumper, you're going to go in first, you're going to put a recon here. That'd be great.
This is a real top-down view of the action as they push through. Because sometimes through the smoke stuff, we can't get a good view of how it's actually playing out. Especially the Omen ones, I was just like, well, I'm just lost in it. I don't know what's going on.
8-9. I mean, we're BBL back in the lead after a relatively poor start to it. Vodafone Giants, we mentioned, need as many rounds as they can get. And right now, that isn't looking like that's going to really happen. They're definitely in troubled waters.
Now, aggression. That means there's so much info here for BBL. They know there's nothing towards C-Long just yet. Don Q might have had a bit of a sound cue for him to understand the players were somewhat close, but for now he won't hear anything because they've just dashed it back. There's not even anyone now on the C site, and they don't have a Cypher there, so there's no camera set up either.
The one thing they do have is that very aggressive tripwire. Or was that Vodafone Giants that put it down, actually? Oh, we'll find out in a second as Jamba goes forward. Yeah, but Cypher's been maining A, so yeah, it must have been Vodafone that put it down.
Yeah.
So with that, there's literally no information. So it was wild to see them commit that heavily towards A.
Oh, CNED. Misses a key shot. Takes a lot of damage as well. Down on 27. The push starts to come up. His position's been revealed. He needs to back away, but Fatino, his ult comes out, and he's able to at least get one for now. C-site secured, and they're going to wall off Garage. No way in just yet. Exa sets up the camera in a perfect spot. How do BBL want to try and retake into this one?
I mentioned in that first half, when we came in and saw no Sage on BBL, that on the attacking side, Sage does still have a lot of uses when you get down to those post plants, and you see exactly why. Yuri's already managed to just completely slow them down and cut off an angle, and now they can focus in towards the spawn. That TP allows the heal to come through, but Fatino falls straight away. This is very dangerous. You're seeing the Donkey wants to push through that smoke, and he catches leg. Oh, nice swing by Xers. The timing was so good, but he doesn't win the duel, and now it's down to just a 2v2, but time is so low. The pressure is on for BBL. They've got to spread out fast and look for these remaining 2 players. Not able to commit fully. The wall goes in, but Yuri, about to swing on through, realizes he doesn't need to anymore because they're not sticking it. He's going to wait, eventually goes in and finds the final kill. I don't think he's getting out of there alive. No, he's not. But in the end, you'll take the round win to put it 9-9 and tie that baby up.
Really good push there from Giants. They had an idea. I think it was Don Q that had the sound cue, right? He understood that actually some aggression had come down C long. Let's have a poke into it. And then it was left to only having CNED on that C site. As soon as he misses that first shot, they can just run and gun straight into it. No problems at all. Still, though, it's 9-9. They're not out the woods yet, right? And a comfortable buy coming out here for BBL.
Absolutely. BBL, as we said, had that money coming into the 3rd round, or 4th round, and then it got even better when they didn't lose a single player. Xers opening it up. Fatina was the only one to fall, and of course they cancel that out with the res. We mentioned on the attacking side how often you're going to be able to use that res, because generally you push in, you lose a player, but you gain map control, and that makes it free to just get that res up. The wall's still in play, going to be used to aggressively wall off, so aggressively that they're actually going to paranoia through and look for the duel with Sage. But in the end, they decided to just sit down, not get too aggressive, not overextend, because they have a 2-man advantage.
Is it going to be enough here? Aslan's hoping someone might push in. He just misses that one. They break the wall. Lego goes in. He knows where he is. Does manage to get the first kill. There's no refrag coming in just yet. This is their time to strike. But it's Jomba that's landed the headshot. He gets a second on as well. Beautiful stuff from him. The Soba putting in work. Low on health, but it doesn't even matter. The Giants are going to secure their 10th round. Lego stands strong only for a little while longer. And BBL, 2 rounds back-to-back now where Giants have just completely outplayed them.
And the machine was slow to get starting over on the attacking side, but now it's in full swing. We saw Donkey there. He was looking for somewhere to place that paranoia in the end. Landing over towards Xers from the other team. Aslan managed to blind him and get them the kill, but it just didn't seem to matter. It wasn't enough. Vodafone Giants have really blown me away, Banks. I just want to highlight it again because obviously we've said it a few times, but coming into this tournament, I underestimated them massively. You gave the caveat that we didn't truly know their level, but whenever I see a team that has no history and hasn't played competitive FPS games for 2 or 3 years for most of their players, I'm not feeling very confident, and yet, boy, they proved me wrong to doubt them.
I think we're just in a point right now, and I said it when we first opened up on day 1, that no team just yet can be considered like, they're not going to be that good. Like, we have to wait and see them because there's still some teams having their first official games. They're starting to come into this. Oh, Lego, that's unlucky. He tries to do a bit of spam through, but instead he's met with full force, and that force continues forward. BBL not having a hope in hell's chance in this one.
We did mention before about tracers, right? I mean, you go into inside a cage and you just start spraying out, looking for someone based on a step.
You're asking to be slapped in the face, really, aren't you?
Yeah, because you're going off of a sound cue, which is, it can be somewhat accurate, but they're going to go off basically seeing where you are because of that tracer and just wreck you like that, especially when there were 2 players there. And they're not being pressured by a long push or anything like that. It was literally, they're still there waiting for something to happen, and then you just go, hi, I'm over here. Like, all right, free kill.
Look at me.
Sometimes it works out, obviously, but risk-reward, probably not worth it for, like, they just got locked out of the site in the end. That commitment of the ult, it's just so disrespectful. It's unnecessary.
They're like, doesn't matter, we just want your weapons to go.
Yeah, you're not getting a single gun.
We'll use it, see what extra information we can have. Kiro's just hiding himself away.
I can't believe they just ulted to try and hunt 2 rifles down. It's just so unnecessary.
They're like, we don't need our ults, you know? 11th round secured.
No one else is close to one either. I mean, Jomba was just the only one that had it, could really help on a push. I definitely don't agree with that decision.
Yeah, it's not the smartest one, right? When it could be used for, say, someone being on the bomb, for example.
Could be used to just, let's say, for example, you're pushing C. Well, you can ult out the left corner, ult out garage on the push through, clear some of these 50-50 angles that you'd have to take.
CNED has to come up huge on this one, though, Mitch. Down in the sewer. But he's certainly no rat. He's got his operator in hand, and he can definitely hear what's going on around him at long. Depends on how he wants to take it. Kiro's going to hold the angle for now. And they just can't afford to be picked apart again. But they're allowing Giants to get really up close and personal. Already rotating one player around. Kiro starts off. This is what they needed. This is what they were hoping for. But it's Russ that goes down. Oh, and they're walking around each other. This is less than good. Poor Kiro. He's trying to hold on. He's trying to do his best to defend it. No one's come CNED's way. And actually, CNED could end up being flanked here without even knowing it. He's trying to do a bit of flanking himself. Shadow Orb goes down. Oh, you don't check it, CNED. That's not what you want to see.
Yeah, that's hard. For BBL, they've got to be feeling a lot of pressure on their shoulders now. I mean, this is a game they want to win just to save face, if nothing else. But at the moment, it's not looking too likely. Very aggressive push down by Aslan, who comes out with a 3K and closes it out. What? What was that? He just dove out of heaven, even took the damage on the way down, and still just hit everyone on his way.
He just went, we're not going to match point, boys. We're just going to fly out now and make this happen. Aslan, I said about it, this game, he just has one of them where he's coming back into it, and, well, just when BBL needed it.
See, at the moment,
crazy.
BBL haven't had a lot of influence over this tournament.
No.
But if they manage to even tie up against Vodafone Giants, they may well be the reason that VF get eliminated. And it's even more important because this is a team that has tied with G2, tied with FPX, did well versus Liquid. If that's what you're looking at, and then you're coming up against them, you want to beat them just to be like, okay, we had an unlucky start to the tournament, but we've warmed up. We know where we're at now. If the tournament started tomorrow, we'd win.
VG, not VF.
Yeah.
I was just looking at you the whole time, and I'm like, what is VF?
The abbreviation works differently in Ireland. It's a different language.
I like how you just use your language to the best of your ability to get you out of strange situations.
English is my second language.
Oh, of course, of course. That explains a lot. With that round for BBL, does give them a fighting chance in this one. All they need is one map here to just have a bit of redeeming quality for themselves.
Exactly. Be damn respectable considering the teams that failed to 2-0 Vodafone Giants if they come in and have the same kind of result. That is definitely
Giants
huge.
are the kings of ties.
It would also affect BBL standings as well because they'll take a lot of elo off Vodafone Giants. Because Vodafone have been building it up, throughout the week.
Ooh.
I know exactly where you are.
Now all the positions are going to be revealed. They know how safe it is, at least in the A site. How does BBL try and approach this again? It's very unlikely Aslan gets away with what he did on the previous round. That was the craziness, right?
Smoke for long immediately. He's got a paranoia as well he can put down below. It would catch two players as well if he goes for it. And one has just come out, I think, from Vodafone Giants underneath there. So they know there's one player. I'd be surprised if he doesn't throw it down. The problem really is going to be Yuri sitting on default. He was looking up towards heaven and waiting for someone to push out. And BBL realized that going in for this now in the 3v5, this late on, it's just jumping headfirst on a spike. It's time to just leave, go over towards the C site where there's no spikes planted, and just save this over for the next round.
And they should be able to save all their weapons at least.
Oh, you know what I've just noticed?
What?
In the map, in the mini-map, when an operator player actually ADSs, the cone of sight closes into exactly what it is in the scope. That's pretty cool. I'd never noticed that before. So you can actually sort of tell, like if we're not watching them, you can tell if they're ADS'd on an angle or just...
I'll be honest with you, Mitch, yeah. I wear glasses, but I can't see that, man. It's too far for me. I cannot see that.
We'll get you binoculars for the next one.
Yeah,
It's good.
yeah.
It's all good.
I think I just literally need a screen in front of my face, to be honest.
right there.
I need it how I play the game.
Exactly, a nose on the screen.
Because I've got, like, I believe you, but I can't tell you I've seen it. Russ. He knows the shock dart's gone out, but he'll at least be safe for now. Patino's waiting to see if anyone pushes forward. And one thing BBL haven't done since some rounds started to go in Vodafone Giants' way is get aggressive. Will they try and change this up now? Russ starts off onto Jombado. This is exactly what they wanted, but it needs to continue. This is not ideal. They can't be trading it out. They need to somehow make this in their favor.
Here.
And Giants are just waiting now. They go, okay, you've been aggressive once. We can just hold back right now. Still plenty of time to play for.
The cam that's down on A long is actually really big over towards BBL. They've got the info that no one's coming there, so they're confident in, again, stacking players towards the other side. That's how you need to use Cypher to steal that info early. Matter of fact, at this point, you could easily see Cypher rotate over to B, play more spawn side. The only issue is that that cam has to be checked every second and a half, in case they just run across.
All the information plays. Russ again. Now, we haven't seen too much from him in this game, but this could be his time to shine. Aslan on point, looks for a second, but it's not going to work. Russ is still getting it done, and he is saving the day for BBL right now. That was the difference between winning and losing this game. There is still a chance for BBL. And what's the money like here for Giants?
That's solid enough. They're still able to get an investment out, luckily, but for Russ, just a small caveat. He's found a 3K versus an anti-eco, and then a 4K here without using a single one of his abilities. So I don't want it brought up that he's got a lot of kills because of the Phoenix, because he hasn't.
Okay, everyone tweet at Mitchman, and please tell him how good the Phoenix is.
That's at least...
Russ has proven that it's a viable agent in the game.
From what we saw on screen, at least 7 kills came in without using an ability.
No! CNED going down so early on. That really puts them in a bad spot. Remember, no Sage, no revive possibility.
And that was an ult on CNED. That could have been huge because, as Scream said, it's for noobs. It's so easy to use. If you get up close and right-click it, don't tell Looker that. He'll be annoyed. But for most people, it's so easy to use. Looker's been very unlucky this tournament.
Yeah, Looker and Knives, not so good. Looker and Operator, really hot.
See, when he left-clicks it, he's solid. It's just the right-click, the RNG always goes around him.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like the Cypher ult. It'll just highlight the player with a knife
I'm
all
making a
around
nice little pretty outline of you.
Exactly.
Now again, they're hitting this A site, which has been where Vodafone Giants have had a lot of success. Russ, it's on you to come up huge. You've been doing it the last couple of rounds, and he starts off with the first at least. Can't get the second, though. Xers is on top of it, and this is just not looking good for BBL. Once again, they've come close, and now it's a 2 versus 4. The spike is down. Don Q, though, he tries to get himself teleported across, but instead he meets another Omen, back to back. Oh, Recon Bolt, location revealed.
No ultimates to use on it, but they're going to use that to try and swing through and spam. Lego gets it inside the cage, ultimate out, looking for the final player. All that Jamba needs to do now is just delay the time. They've not hit him. They have no idea. They think he's on long for some reason, but no, they're about to find out he's not. Great shot by Aslan. That is going to be overtime connected now, as BBL have lots of time to get that defuse in. What a retake. That was looking set to be the end of the game. I'm putting my bottle of water below the desk and everything, but Vodafone Giants, they've whiffed it. They couldn't close it out, and now they've got to fight again in OT.
Aslan said, anything you guys can do, I can do better. Don Q, Omen versus Omen. And it is the master matchup here. Don Q was playing lights out from start to finish in this game, same as Xers. But Aslan, he's having one of the games that we saw only once or twice throughout this entire tournament. Yeah. Now he's doing it when they greatly need it.
Absolutely. Stepping up when they need it is exactly what we were hoping. It's what we said in the pre-show, right? That you could see them realistically getting through. But Aslan needed to be showing up alongside CNED. That's exactly what's been happening. Russ has obviously had a couple of very impactful rounds as well, not because of the Phoenix. And so 12-12 is where they find themselves with a real chance to wreck Vodafone Giants' hopes of making it through the playoffs.
It doesn't matter what you say about the Phoenix at this point. Russ has at least put the hurt on him 3 rounds in a row if it wasn't for him.
He's unbelievable. He's doing really well.
He was having a terrible game, and just the last 3 rounds, the ones that all the pressure was on BBL, he started to deliver. But this push in, they've got a lot of control. But Yuri, he's found the first, looking for more, but it's Aslan and Kiro. They bust into the C site. And Jomba's forced away. Russ gets him as he was trying to jump out. BBL, they've just come alive once again. It's a 2 versus 4. Couple of players low, but Russ, where is this coming from, mate?
He's an absolute animal. It takes an operator on Fatino to take him down, but there's so many more players to eliminate, and with an operator, it's not the ideal weapon to be entering with. I think he... Oh, no, he's still got it, has he? Or has he swapped out to a rifle? No, he's gone to the Phantom. Okay, there's the opening onto Aslan, but spotted now, darted up as well. Even going inside that smoke isn't going to help him. Did that miss? Oh, it looked like it was on him. It has... Oh, that's missed as well. See that? That's risky. Goes out for more. Why would you go out for more when the spike's planted for you and it's a 2v1? I don't know. I don't think CNED knows, but he did it and it worked, and they win the round.
They just want to make you really panic, Mitch. That's what it's all about, right? It's like, we have all the opportunity to hold this
Time's on our side. We can just peek him one by one when he defuses. It's easy. And then, like, if CNED falls, all of a sudden you can realistically lose that.
Aslan is back in full turret mode. You ain't getting past him. Giants now on their attacking side. They did have a lot of success on it to start off with, but it's all down to this round. 2 in a row is what it's all about.
It's exactly like tennis, right? We go back to deuce, we go again. Whoever takes a 2-round lead wins out the game. 2-man stack towards the C side early on. BBL.
So if it ties, Nip are fine.
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Oh man, for Vodafone Giants, this is do or die. They need all of this. The pressure's on. That can often affect how you play. They just need to play their game. They need to remember they're supposed to be the better team. They've had some amazing games against the best teams in the world. They pushed G2 to their absolute limits. One of the craziest games I've seen in Valorant. Aslan, though, repositions here. Doesn't have any information yet that they're pushing up. Here's the Jet. That's the key part. He's hiding down for now. He's avoided a lot. He's getting away with it. He does just get one, though. Fitino quick on the refrag. How much more can they get done? Fitino spraying through. It's back and forth for now, but it's going in favor of the Giants. They need to get that spike down. 2 versus 3. The Jet is low. The Sage is dead. Exer's taking a forward position. The headshot is landed. What a way for it to go. Risk versus reward. The Cypher's using his ult. And now they know exactly where to look. All the pressure is on. It's a 1v3. It shouldn't be possible. But I've seen crazier things. DonQ teleports over. Just wants to ensure that they're making as many options as possible here for this Cypher to try and fight back into. Shots fired. Headshots delivered. Kiro was in a bad spot then.
It had been 15 seconds since DonQ deployed it, but evidently Kiro was still hit with paranoia because he was just he was in that smoke spraying every single angle. Is he up there? Is he in the corner? Where is he? Where are they waiting? But eventually he just got ripped apart as his head dipped out of the smoke. And 13-13, we go through to another overtime, our second one. For Vodafone Giants, man, it's got to suck because you know BBL are not competing for anything, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they can even get prize money at this point. No, they can't. So it's like they're literally just saying, we might go out of this tournament in last place, but we will. But we're going to make sure you suffer for it as well.
They're making sure they just walk away with at least something,
yeah,
right? In terms of pride, a win, to show that there is a reason they came here through the qualifiers. And, well, CNED, he's going to show us a lot more than that. He's going to show us that operator once again. Takes down Patino. That's a big player to take out of the hands of Giants. Yuri, though, tucked away in Cubby. And the problem here is last time Yuri was here, he still got away with a kill, but they didn't check it. They can't make that mistake again on the BBL side.
I don't imagine they would as they push on forward. If they do, you can still see the spike is towards the window. And they are looking for control of Garage, but also long as well with that swing coming out from Russ. And they're starting to slowly shift towards that A side. Presence being made. The corner not checked again. Come on. Lego just ran in looking away. I don't even know what he was clearing at that point. This is a smoke down. That's a disaster. Not a mistake that you can really accept. Russ gets taken down. DonQ disengaging, a really smart decision. Yep. And now a man advantage on the push forward. Doesn't last too long.
Kiro's been on point. And oh my god! Swinging out. DonQ loses his head. Aslan teleports into a good spot, but he's looking to take the fight forward, and he's delivering one, but that's all he's going to get. It's back and forth still. It's a 2 versus 1. The Sage is up. Yuri can get a heal on go if he does need it. He's going to get the revive in. Oh, it works out. Vodafone Giants. They get the round, and they just need a second, but what a play from Yuri. To have your ult in a round like that in the nick of time, it completely confuses CNED.
You see, either way, even if CNED gets that kill, he needs a collat. Just connecting that, the other player's going to have his weapon out before that's cocked again, and then it's like a pistol versus rifle fight. That was huge by Yuri. What a round, and we commended him. He's one of the 3 players that have really just consistently delivered for Vodafone Giants across this tournament. The bait res, something I do all the time, but never successfully, and usually not on purpose. A 4th kill and saving the team completely, putting them now in a position where they can actually close this out and keep themselves in with a chance to make it to playoffs. Vodafone Giants, man, they came into this tournament, they surprised us all, and they continue to do so. They looked down and out of that round. They looked down and out of the game a few times as well. But BBL, they let it slip at the last second.
But CNED, he's getting all of these openings. Fatino's just not winning them, Mitch. And that's a problem. Fatino's a big boy player for this lineup. Oh, they wall off the right side here. They're doing the opposite to Liquid. The paranoia goes out, though, but it doesn't matter as Aslan has been taken down. Russ, he needs to get back on it. He has been so pivotal in BBL's success. Can he deliver some more? He's still up there in headshot galore. Russ is on fire once again. He's making sure they can get into this overtime. It's only the Sova that remains. He used his ult. He'll bait out the position. They know where Jomba is. CNED gets the kill, and it's the overtimes. Back and forth, back and forth. Both these teams want it so bad. It may mean more to Giants in their opportunity to get to playoffs, but BBL, they don't want to be humiliated in this tournament.
No, they definitely don't. They don't want to go out with all losses. 5-0 with 0 ties as well. This was huge by Russ. Again, delivering without using Phoenix abilities. Again, after shot after shot. Afterwards, that 3K was down to just individual aim. And when he used the ult, they already had the info where he was, and he just got headshots, so it didn't really matter. Like, Russ delivering right now is down to him just being insane on an individual level. I wonder... So he is obviously delivering this. I wonder how much Phoenix is affecting, though, his play style. He maybe feels like he can go more aggressive. We see him get into positions because he uses his flash, goes around the corner, and then someone peeks.
He's been using the heals as well, right? Healing himself up in the flames.
Which is necessary when you don't have a Sage at all. Yep. And if he's entry fragging and then able to heal himself up, then it's pretty decent. As we say, it does have advantages, definitely. It has benefits.
Yeah, but I say you're just being positive about Phoenix here, Mitch. You feeling okay?
I don't think the benefits outweigh anyone else's benefits. It's the least benefits, but it does have benefits.
Jomba now. Oh no, Russ! Razor sharp aim. Needs to check this corner though. Yuri is tucked away. Oh! Fatino! He protects Yuri. They might not check it. He's good for one. They're trying to push into it, but Lego backs him off. 2 versus 3. BBL. Donkey is so fast on it, but he's only going to get 1. They need to just play together now. Exos is already in the site. Do they expect it? CNED with the operator kill. 1 more round is all BBL needs here, Mitch.
And Vodafone Giants have fought so hard. They had the lead. BBL took it back, brought them to an overtime then. And the reality is, for CNED, he had a terrible start to this game. He was not looking good. He was, I think he was on the bottom of the scoreboard for a long time. And now he's starting to deliver at the final hour.
Vodafone Giants. Look at him run.
Absolutely. Russ, as well, though, has really just been such a star. And he's going in with so many... And it feels like Russ has been good all the way through, but the level of impact he's having in these last kind of 30 minutes is unbelievable.
Just the last 3 rounds, all the impact that Russ had is the only reason we're here right now.
And that was the same in regulation as well.
Aslan, if he wants to peak this, if he doesn't just allow him to walk in, if he goes for a poke, could be the difference. Oh, he misses some shots. That's key. He throws the orb down and he's going to die. Oh, Aslan, you're normally the turret, but the turret has fallen. Now the A site once again is secured. Kiro, he needs to try and deliver something huge here, but it's not working out. Fatino's ripping him apart time after time. This would take a monster performance, 2 versus 5, in order for BBL to take this round.
You know, the thing there was that obviously you saw Yuri was further back, so didn't get hit by the paranoia. That opening duel puts Vodafone Giants in a position where they've got that site, they've got everything locked down, and they're not going to give it up just yet. On 14-15, they need this to bring it to another overtime and continue to extend this game. And this map 1, there's still another one to go. That paranoia forces CNED backwards, but there's no saving in OT. You don't get any of those weapons in the next round. They've got to go, but they're just being picked apart. Vodafone Giants flawless in this round to continue on in this overtime adventure.
And Mitch, this is now all about who can outlast who, right? Who's got the stamina, who can mix things up enough. And that round just then was so good from Giants. 5 alive, complete control. Aslan, once he went down, they just went for it. All guns blazing. BBL now kicking themselves, but know that they've done it before. CNED has been so good at getting the opening since we've hit overtime. Operator in hand. We're seeing aggression to start off with here, though, from Giants. Need to be careful. They start to spam up the Sova, but they're not able to connect the shots. Yuri gets ready to wall it off, but for now, they start to focus more towards A. They're looking up high. They're checking. You can see what Russ is going to go for here. He's been entering so well, hitting headshots for days. He stepped it up massively here. Can they sneak in? The Cypher's on the camera and he doesn't have any information just yet. He's jump spotting it to see what he might be able to find. Oh, the timing on this one's going to be interesting. He's tucked himself away in the corner. Now the Omen is there to back Xers up, but it's how quickly he can get in. Continues to check the camera that hasn't been taken down just yet. There's a lot of pressure on Xers' shoulders. The orbs go out. Russ again. He's landing headshots. Oh, that's huge from Kiro. He takes Xers down, but He's spraying it out. But he's only good for 2. The number advantage with BBL. They're going to try and hold on to this A site, but with no Sage, there's no wall. And Lego on the super flank, but he has to be quick. Oh, he hears some footsteps. Fatino might not be ready for this, and he's not. BBL, they're looking to dominate in this round. Vodafone could have never expected that. Doesn't matter who you call, because the Giants have fallen. And it's only one more round that they need to survive if they want to bring us to another overtime, Mitch. What did we go to yesterday on overtimes?
5 OTs.
5 OTs.
18-16.
18-16. We're currently 16-15.
Now 1 OT away from reaching that again at a minimum. But the way Vodafone have been answering back in the second halves of each one, I don't know when we're going to stop. The issue I had there, CNED, when it came over to playing over on the C site, it was such... Or no, it wasn't CNED, was it? It was Patino. He had a great position, and he suspected that there was going to be a player lurking around mid, but just when that spike went down, it was a second too early, so he just ran, gave the step, and that was it.
Now, Mitch, this is what Valorant Esports is all about. This is what it comes down to. They're fighting for these group stage positions. This means a hell of a lot more to Giants in terms of making it forward. But for BBL, it's all about showing that they are a team that can compete at this level in some way. They've had games close against some of the best teams in Europe, but they've not been able to get even a map thus far. The push comes in. Fatino is fast. He spotted out 1, but no one's making a move just yet. Lego, it's all on him, but CNED hits the shot. Oh, they didn't check it. The spike's down. He's getting 2. The spray down's coming in. He's still alive. They finally deal with him, but a lot of damage has been done. 3 versus 2, and it's Russ with the operator. John but doesn't even know where that came from. He was confused. All alone, and Russ seals the deal. 17-15. BBL take the win. They take their first map here. And Vodafone Giants, their dreams of playoff have been crushed in the opening map, and it went the full distance and more.
You know what I found? It was poetic almost. The entire game, we saw BBL suffer because they didn't check corners.